Hey everyone, my name is Kemuel, and today we have a very special guest with us, Kelsie from Historic Entertainment. She's a recording artist, and she's here to talk with us about what's coming up. Hey Kelsie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's just really hot in here.
It is hot. If you look around the studio, you guys can't see this, but there are a lot of fans around. So, Kelsie, tell us about yourself. How's life treating you? How's the music life treating you? How are things going?
Well, this music life is definitely something I wasn't expecting. Being kind of unknowingly catapulted into it, but it's been exciting so
Unknowingly? Were you forced? Are you in danger?
far. No.
We're just gonna have a conversation today. Don't worry. So, how's everything?
Well, everything is. It's been a roller coaster, definitely of a ride, trying to figure this all out, figure out really the dynamics of where I want this all to go.
Right.
how I want to sound, lyrics, music, delivery, everything is just yeah.
Yeah, and that's with every artist, every artist. So it's not like it's something new or just for you. So let's get into the meat of this. What was your biggest motivation into becoming a singer, an artist?
Well, if I'm being honest, music wasn't my first passion. My first passion was really science. No, I wasn't the kind of person that believed in the power of the universe. I just really like science and figure out how things work, the biology of things. And my original goal and motivation was to be a vet or a marine biologist or even a chemist. Believe it or not, I thought I could concoct a potion that could turn me into any animal when I was 5. Don't.
Sounds like a dream of a 5-year-old.
I wanted to be Beast Girl. If you watch Teen Titans and you know about Beast Boy, and then I wanted to be Beast Girl. I wanted to be able to transform into any animal. Don't kill my dream. But really stepping into my preteen years at the age of 10, it was when I first heard Alicia Keys play the piano. I was watching her. I really don't remember on what it was, but I knew that it captured me. And it was from then that my interest for music grew. And I got my first keyboard when I was 11, I believe, when I was 11. And it was from there that I went all in. I self-taught myself. I went on YouTube I'm sorry, I think in times like that, YouTube is the best teacher, to start off, to set up.
Yeah, especially if you don't have access to teachers and all that, right?
Yeah. I thought, well, I did have access to teachers, but when you kind of just want that freedom to be able to learn whenever you want, at whatever time you want, you get up randomly at 12 o'clock in the morning, I want to play. And
yeah, I guess it works in some cases.
So YouTube was there whenever I didn't have my teacher, because I did have a teacher, but I more learned all the dynamics and everything through YouTube. Then after that, I was a person that liked to sing in the shower, and my mom's like, you actually don't sound terrible. you actually sound a little bit good. You got a little voice. And from then I delved into singing. I was really shy about it at first. I wasn't really sure. My mom says I sound good, but is she just saying that because she's my mom? Because parents sometimes just say things because they love you. But I knew that it was what I wanted to do, because for some reason I kept going back to it. I started going less to the science, less to the sports and other interests I had at the time, and more to the music. So.
Okay. And that eventually led you to joining church, right?
Well, I was involved in the church, but when you're involved in the church but you weren't involved in the church, you're there but you're not there.
Yeah.
But the church that I first went to in the beginning, I wasn't really serving in any worship, music, any kind of capacity. I was kind of just there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I really got involved with Legacy. One of the Legacy leaders kind of just swooped me up. I don't even remember how that happened. These people kind of just find you. They just find you. And it was through that it was a group that they started called 24/7 Prayer and Worship. I was literally just kind of flung into it. Like, they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a, sell my soul and you're doing this because you have to, but I was fully interested in growing and learning. And it was from then, when we did our first worship set, that I was hooked, that I knew that this is what God wants me to do. So it was from then that I just knew that this was what I wanted to do. Not just that this was what I wanted to do, but this is where God has strategically placed me to operate in my gifting. It was the second time that we led that I was asked to do it alone. And like, why am I doing this alone? I felt like when they throw you into a river to learn how to swim and you don't know how to swim, and then you kind of just have to fight for your life. That's how I kind of felt in that moment. But it was in that moment that God gave me a word through that same leader that found me, that he said that God has placed a prophetic mantle on your life, in worship, in music, and I knew that this is where I belong. So that's how I kind of got plugged into
Music
church and music, and it kind of just all exploded from there.
And it was something you loved?
Yes, definitely. I felt most at home when I was in the presence of worship, when I was at my keyboard, when I was writing songs.
Yeah.
And it was in that season of growth and learning that I joined LifeNet. Well, I was noticed from one of the core leaders of LifeNet, my church that I'm currently going to now, my home church that I love so much. And I joined the worship team, and it was a uphill climb for me, because I was so new, I was so full of pride, and I was so eager to show myself, when God really broke me, bit by bit, as the years progressed, being on that worship team, to humble me and really grow and operate properly in the gift that he's giving me, not just kind of being all flashy and showy.
Yeah. And I know you're with us with Historic. What was it like when we came to you that, we want to give you an outlet to do your music with us. We want to help you follow your dreams. What was it like? Because I got to give an acknowledgement to my co-founder and co-CEO, Jaliza Roberts. You've been very instrumental into the growth of Historic and building Kelsie as, yeah, we do, building up Kelsie and how her career can move forward. What was it like when we pitched the idea to you to join?
To be honest, the both of you came to me so excited and eccentric. I'm like, chill.
we're vision casters. We cast the vision and then we create the steps to go forward.
Like, they came all excited and
I will admit
energy,
we came.
and I'm like, wait. Let's sit down and talk some logistics and some plans here, because I'm not saying that I didn't see their vision and their heart and where they really wanted to go with this, but it was all excitement. And like, I'm not a person that can get excited about something until I see a full scale, like, written out plan of how everything is gonna happen. But I knew, and I saw their heart, and I just knew within my heart that this was the right thing to do, that that this was a safe way for me to start building and working. It from then, it's just been really an uphill climb. Like, we've really become a family. It's become more than just working together and music. It's become so close-knit. Like, I really have to give a huge amount of praise to the both of you guys for really being obedient in walking out this vision that God has placed in you. And that's because it's only the beginning. We've only scraped the tip of the iceberg, okay? Like, we ain't done here. So I'm excited to see what God is going to do or continue to do through Historic.
I know it was last year that we released your first published single, Piece by Piece. Tell the viewers who may not have heard briefly what it's about.
Well, Piece by Piece it's definitely one of those songs that came from a really dark season, that came from a really hard place. Well, Piece by Piece, it was kind of like a play on words, like, like piece, like a piece of a pie, and peace, like, peace sign. Talking about really you being so broken that you shatter into a million pieces, but God's peace is what brings and restores you and puts you back together. Because I know I was in a season where I was in so so much pain. I felt so broken. I felt so shattered. I felt so beside myself. And it was only really the peace of God that started slowly piecing me back together. And and that song was born. I mean, that song was literally written in, I think it was 2 days. And usually I have to go through a season, like a long season, before like a song can officially be finished and written. But that song only took 2 days, and I have to say that's the Spirit of God, because I don't write that fast. And it was amazing. It brought me to tears when just the lyrics alone were done. And recording it, there was a lot of tears. Everything was just emotional, because it was my first song. It's my baby. And when the day came when it was released everywhere on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, everywhere. It's everywhere. Just throwing that out there. It really hit home. Like, man, this happened. Like, this, it's out there. This is my first song, and it came from a place that I can say it's me. It's my heart. It's like God really brought something out that I never thought was possible.
Yeah. And with that, now we kept on working. We kept on doing behind the scenes stuff, and that led to now your newest song is gonna be released soon. Can You Hear? Tell us about that. What can we expect? What's it about?
Well, for those of you that don't really know the story of Job, the story of Job really is about a man that lost everything, like in the most painful way possible. He loses everything. Well, he had everything. He lost it, and then he got it back. But it was in that season of him losing everything, where in sickness, in grief, in pain, in brokenness, in depression, that he still cried out to God faithfully. And even when the enemy was on his back, that he still held true and held fast to his prayers. He just knew deep within himself that God hadn't forsaken him, God hadn't left him. But he was still realistic with the pain that he was feeling. Like, he did not disacknowledge the pain that he felt. Like, he knew that he was in a dark place, but he still held on to God. He still cried out to God. And I was in that season very recently where I felt like I was just watching everything fall apart right in front of me. But unlike Job, I was at a place where I was wondering, God, can you really hear me? Do you hear me when I cry out to you? Do you hear me when I am calling out, when I am on my knees, when I am completely beside myself with pain? Like, do you hear me in those dark seasons, in those isolated points in my life where it's just me and you? Do you hear me? And it was in that moment that God answered me, and he said, yes, of course I hear you. I see you. I don't take you for granted. I haven't counted out your prayer requests. And it was in that moment that I found deliverance, that I found, my freedom. I found my Job prayers being answered, because like in the story of Job, he got back everything and doubled. And I've seen that. I've seen the hand of God deliver me from that season and restore everything double. And I'm like, man. And it was in that moment that song was birthed. And it really is a story of someone in so much pain, wondering, doubting if they are being heard, if they will ever see something else other than pain, and then coming to that place of seeing deliverance and knowing that their cries are being heard.
And with that song that's gonna be released this so soon, what advice would you give to someone? I know this song may be the advice, or this question may even be redundant, but talking to someone who may be watching this video or who will watch this video in the future, what message would you give specifically for them for going through their season, that their low season? What would you tell them to help them get through it?
Well, if I could just say one thing to anybody that may not even listen to this song, but you're watching this podcast, you're watching this video, is that wherever you're at in your journey, it doesn't matter what that journey looks like, whatever level of pain, of doubt, of fear, of depression, of anxiety, of insecurity, and I can go on and on and on, that wherever you are currently at right now in your journey, that God can meet it. Even if you don't believe in God, even if you are at a place where you are wondering, well, where's my change? Where's my deliverance? Where are my answered prayers? He has taken into account and heard you long before you even thought it possible. And your answer is coming, your breakthrough is coming. Just don't give up. Just don't stay down there. Yes, your pain is real, but God is real too. And He can deliver you from whatever you are currently struggling with.
That's really profound, and I really love that, because I know a lot of people who just trod through life. Excuse my broken English. People who just move forward through life, and there aren't really much encouragement for people, and I know that's the vision and the heart behind this song, to be that voice, that voice of encouragement, that voice of truth that is there to help each and every one go through life. And I know this may come off as a Christian song, but as for me and for Historic, we don't want to come off as, and yes, we are firm believers of our faith and we won't compromise that, but this song isn't made for Christian people, not just Christian people. It's made for everyone who's gonna listen to it, who goes through hard times and who needs that help, who needs that push. Because the truth is, we have problems too. Everyone does. No one is exempt from problems. So that's what we hope this song is. And we hope this song could be of some help to you, and we hope you could share it to people who may need that encouragement. So with that said, I think that's it, right? Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think that's it.
That's it. So I'd like to give a shout out to, I'd like to acknowledge my brother Jonathan. He's Azrael Productions. He's with us behind the setup. He's with us behind the visual setup, and he's currently enlarging his business, his company, into going into video work now. So you'd see something on the screen on how to contact him and how to get in touch with him to get your projects done. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. We'll try to do more of these videos often to connect with you. I know next time Jaliza and I want to talk about Historic Entertainment and what it is, and our bigger vision, and how you could partner with us and how you could get in touch with us and help us bring this vision and this into reality. Also, next month, June, we're going to release a music video. So we have a music video in the works for... that's all I'll say. We have a music video coming out soon, because we have a great idea for it, and we're excited to see it come to fruition. So with that said, see you guys next time.